Hello and welcome to this explainer. Today we are going to dive right into a really important topic. We are looking at exactly how strict laws affect our everyday lives. I want to start us off with a very basic but crucial question. Do legal rules truly change how humans act? Or, do people just do whatever they want anyway? Well, let's get right into Section 1, how rules keep us safe.
To answer your question directly, yes, they really do. Strict laws act just like a shield. They protect the public. And this brings us to a very important concept called social order. Social order is basically a stable, peaceful state in our society. It happens when we establish clear rules and very clear consequences. This prevents chaos. It stops people from doing harmful things, simply because they know they will be punished.
Having these rules gives us immediate positive benefits. By establishing clear rules for absolutely everyone, the fear of punishment deters people from criminal activities. And the results? We reduce overall crime rates, and we create a much safer society for all of us. Let's think about driving for a second. Without strict traffic laws, our roads would be totally chaotic and incredibly dangerous. People might drive way too fast or just completely ignore red lights. But with strict traffic laws in place, those rules literally force people to drive carefully. This results in safe and orderly roads. Because people are driving carefully under these strict laws, we see a significant decrease in accidents and fatalities. Far fewer people get hurt. Lives are actually saved. So, to summarize this first side of the argument, we can safely say that effectively enforced laws lead to a more harmonious and law-abiding society. When people respect the rules, we all get to live in a much more peaceful and safe environment.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Rules keep us safe. But I do have to ask, is there a downside to having too many rules? Can strict laws go a little too far and actually cause problems for us?
That leads us perfectly into Section 2, the cost of strict laws. That is a really great question, and the honest answer is yes. While laws definitely protect us, overly rigid rules can sometimes act like a cage. In fact, laws can take a massive toll on an individual's freedom and their creativity. When we have too many rigid rules, we lose our personal autonomy. We lose the freedom to make our own choices. We have to look closely at the difference between the intended goal of a law and its unintended consequence. The goal is obviously to protect the public, but the unintended consequence? It can stifle or completely stop innovation and progress. The main goal is to enforce social order, but it might ultimately hinder our own personal growth and development. Think about businesses, for example. In a flexible environment, people are encouraged to come up with exciting new ideas, and they can start companies easily. But under overly restrictive laws, entrepreneurship is heavily stifled. The rules are just too hard to follow, so people just stop trying to make new products altogether. And if businesses cannot create new products or start new companies because of these strict rules, it leads to a serious lack of economic growth and development. The economy just stops growing. And that affects everyone's wealth and everyone's opportunities. Wow. Okay, so strict rules keep us safe, but they can also stop us from growing. So how in the world do we find the perfect balance between safety and personal freedom? Let's wrap up with Section 3, finding the perfect balance. Finding that exact balance is the biggest challenge for any society. On one hand, effectively enforced laws create a safer, harmonious society that stops crime. But on the other hand, flexible and adaptable laws encourage positive behaviors and true innovation. The very best societies manage to do both. They protect their people without destroying their creativity. I want to leave you with one final provocative question to think about today. What if our laws were more flexible and more adaptable? Could we actually encourage even more progress while still staying perfectly safe? Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer today.